All right, everybody. If you forgot what this was about, people were joking and saying, even I probably forgot what it was about. This is the storage Ottoman, and today is the final day for it. So let's jump right in. I'm just going to do the final tax here of the fabric, because if you would have remembered well enough, is that the point we got to was that we put the fabric on the what is to be the top piece where you'd actually be sitting, and there were 2 layers of sponge as well as a layer of batting. And now we're just finishing off the fabric on top here, because that's what we got to last time. And then we'll jump to the next step, and then we'll be all done with this bad boy. All right? So just a couple more staples, and just remember, as much as possible, pull the fabric very taut, and from there, while still pulling the tension, you tack the fabric down so that on the underside, on the opposite side rather, you would have a smooth finish. I don't know how smooth this would be. I'll be very honest, I was rushing a little bit just to get this part done, because I need to wrap up this project today, because next week we're going to have some exciting things where you're going to learn how to take some materials and probably make yourself some gym equipment, weights and such. So I'm just looking through here to make sure. Okay, I missed some spots over here, so I'm just going to tack this down. Again, just pull it tight. And all the excess, you could just take scissors and cut that off. I'll skip that part just because it'll take too much time right now. I could always neaten up this project later on. And what we're doing, for all listeners on Talk City 91.1 FM, I'm just going around the circular cut piece of ply, of which I layered with fabric and with sponge to act as cushioning. And all right, so that part is done. We flip over, and this is what we have. All right, so as I said, we will cut off the excess afterward, but we're getting to the next step here. And I had to go to my local upholstery store and get 2 items, one of which is fabric adhesive or fabric glue. The other is velcro. So I got myself 1 yard of velcro. This is more than I actually need, but we're just gonna do a rough measure, because we're gonna need a couple pieces, because this top part needs to be removable. So what you're gonna do, this is 1 yard of velcro, as I mentioned. You're just gonna fold it in half so you could have an average, and you could just cut through it there. Both sides are stuck to each other already, so you don't have to go and measure twice. All right, and from there, you're just gonna average on your piece where you're gonna put this velcro down. I think I need to control some fabric here, so what I'll actually do is tack this down. All right, so what you're gonna do is using your fabric glue, and I would advise, if you're doing it on a table at home or something, you want to put some paper down, some plastic even, just to ensure that you protect the surface. If it's an old table that you just do work with outside and don't really care, well, that's fine as well. So I'm taking my $9 scissors from the convenience store and trying my best to cut through this velcro. And what I'm doing now is just averaging my area where I am going to put my velcro. What I'm going to do here is stretch out this fabric to make as smooth a surface as I can. And what you want to do is just check and ensure you know which side of the velcro is which, so you do it the same on both ends. So I'm actually going to put the rough side down on this piece, which is the top, so when we flip it over, the rough side will be on the upper piece there. And what I'm going to do now is just add some fabric glue onto my velcro first. I'm just going to leave that there, and so we're going to have to let that sit. And what you're going to do is that once it dries on this first side, what you're going to do is spray this side with the fabric adhesive and press it on your piece, so that when you pull apart, it'll pull apart from each other, and the actual velcro will be stuck to the fabric on this side. You do the same on this side, on the opposite side I should say. That way you don't have to measure where on your piece you need to stick this separately and hope it lines up. You just keep it stuck together now. You glue one side down. When it dries, you glue the other side and flip it onto your piece, so that when that adhesive dries, then what happens is you just pull it apart and it operates like you have to. You don't have to do any more measuring than that. All right, so we're gonna allow this to sit there. And in the meantime, we're gonna go to the next part of the project. And that is putting the base on, because again, if it's for storage, you need a base. So I went ahead and I took my jigsaw and cut out another circle. I used the outer rim of the tire to measure. And from there, what I did was, all right, from there, what I did was lined it up and ensure that everything was in proper alignment. And it is. If you want, you could go even further. You could paint that piece. You could cover that piece with fabric as well. I want it to be a solid piece because I'm going to put some legs or casters on this later on. But what's important right now is that you grab your driver, your automatic driver, and you have a couple of screws. So the screws you need for this, because the ply is only 3/4 inch thick in real thickness, you're going to need probably about 5 screws. And the screws you're going to use are about 1.25 inches, maximum 1.5 inches, depending on how much fabric you have to go through. But I would recommend about 1.25 inches and just really drive it in so you can stay in the ply. What you want to do is drive it from the inside of the tire so you won't see screws from the outside. And then afterward, when you have to put legs, you may do the same to hide those screws up. So what I'm doing here now, it'll be difficult for you to see, but I'm going in the inside curve of the tire. I know that the ply is covering the entire area, so I'm just going to go on the inside of the tire. I'm actually drilling through the rubber right now. And what we're doing is just driving that screw all the way in and through the ply. So not very easy, I admit, but once you're done with it, I'm going to have to turn away from you a little bit just so I could get this done. Apologies. But once we're finished with this bit here, the base will be secure. And from there, you could do whatever you want. Put your legs on, put casters on. And of course, once the Velcro dries on your top piece, then your top piece would be removable. So you'd have a pretty cool form of seating that you made yourself. There we go. A little challenging this morning. So you're going to do the same, probably in about 4 or 5 spots. All right, just ensure wherever you're drilling that it is going to make contact with the ply. All right, and yeah, rubber is not a very friendly material to work with depending on your tools. So you just need to work a little carefully and ensure you do it properly. All right. So, and with that, the base is on. What you want to do afterward is, and here we have the final piece there. And this, again, once these Velcro is dry, you could remove this as you want. But here's seating, an Ottoman made from an old tire. So we upcycled an old tire and we made some seating with it. If you want, you could make a few more pieces in different colors and have them laying around. But this is how you do it after about, what, 6 episodes? All right, so thank you for watching. This has been DIY on Now. And I is on set right now because we're going to jump right from DIY into entertainment.
Let's take in a few messages and come right back.
Okay, that's what we're going to do.